Welcome to the Rookery and Rose. In this video, I'll be sharing with you part 1 of my transformation of this 3-season porch into a Victorian tea room. I'll also share my thrifted vintage finds for decorating. When we purchased our house, we noticed that it had this ornate side entry with its own wide porch and railing, and I was curious to find out why the house would have such a large entryway on the side of the house. After speaking to some neighbors and longtime residents, I found out that the house actually used to have a public tea room, and this was the entry. So the entry here is a 3-season porch with the wavy glass panels, which I absolutely love. But as you can see from the picture, the paint had begun to peel. It was very dull. I couldn't get it clean, and it basically needed an overall makeover. I looked back at some pictures of what former residents had done, and about 2 owners ago, someone had it decorated as this pretty little Victorian style outdoor eating space because it does connect with the wraparound porch on the one side. So I got inspired by all this history to create a nice whimsical Victorian inspired tea room. And the first step was, of course, painting all the surfaces. I had to do a lot of stripping and sanding. There was lead paint, so I had to wear protection. And then we had to figure out what colors we wanted to do, because the entire house is painted in this really dark green. I tried to find a good match to it, and I found out that salamander in a solid stain, which is what is already on the house, worked best, and it matched up really well. So we used Salamander by Benjamin Moore for the wall color. And then I decided to do a brighter white-ish color, but not pure white. So I went with Sea Froth from Benjamin Moore just to brighten up the window trim and make the windows pop a little bit more. For the ceiling, I went back to this reference point where some trim had been ripped off, and I could see an old bit of a light blue-green, and that's a very traditional color for a porch ceiling. And on the strip for the salamander, that one of the lighter colors is Arctic blue, which is this nice light blue-green. So I went with that for the ceiling. And then to give it some more contrast and a little bit more fun in that kind of painted lady look, I went with Bon Noit by Benjamin Moore for the door trim. The next step of this whole thing was to tackle the floor. I primed it and then painted it in the Sea Froth. And then I decided to use a dark purple for the Harlequin pattern that I put on. And I don't have a lot of detail how I did that here, but I think that busyness of the Harlequin kind of camouflaged a lot of what was underneath that floor, which had layers and layers of paint. So here we are now with my vintage thrifted haul. I have several pieces that I went hunting for over the winter while I was waiting to finish this room because it's not a heated room, so it was quite cold out. But I went through and basically searched in my local area on Facebook Marketplace for chairs, a table, a Curio Cabinet to house my teacups, and then I found that decorative mirror as well. This little tea cart I had already from years ago. I think it may have been a Bombay purchase, but it's going to need some redoing. I'm planning on painting it and maybe doing some decoupage just to make it look a little bit more whimsical. This table is a 40-inch round table. It's solid wood, which is really great. I do plan on painting it as well. And it does have a leaf I could put in, but in this space that would be too big, so I'm going to use it as is. Then I searched for chairs. This first chair is a little bit more brown than I thought from the pictures, so I'm probably going to have to do something with that color, either reupholster it or paint it or something. And then this chair, I love the cane back. I'm not sure if I'm going to paint that wood or not, but I do like the green velvet upholstery, so I'm going to keep that. This little mirror was found on Facebook Marketplace. It had been purchased at Home Goods, and the owner was reselling it for about half price of what they paid. And then I found this beautiful curio cabinet. This piece took me the longest to find. I was lucky enough to find it at a local antique shop. It was actually a shop where she also did repainted furniture, so she had refinished this piece already. It has the curved glass and the glass shelves, and she had put a toile background on the back of it that you can actually pin things onto, and it has the original skeleton key. It's just such a special antique piece. I was lucky to get it at a really great price because she's actually closing her shop and moving. So I thought it would be perfect for housing teacups and other little magical things, and just giving it the whole space that nice whimsical antique Victorian tea room look. On the ceiling, when we first got here, the light fixture wasn't working. We had the electricians rewire it, but we don't have a fixture there yet. So I had to find something, and I was able to locate this piece. It's a metal toll ceiling fixture that doesn't hang down. It's nice and high, which is good because our ceilings aren't very tall in that room. But it has all these nice vines and flowers. I thought we were done there with all the furnishings that I needed for the tea room, but then I decided to grab this piece from our master bedroom. It's another Facebook Marketplace find that I had found over the winter. It's a Victorian settee, and it has this beautiful floral fabric, and I just thought, especially with that ceiling fixture, that all the different color flowers and that chenille fabric would be terrific for the tea room and just add even more whimsy. And I know I'm putting a lot of different colors and patterns into that space, but I just think it looks great there. So we did move it down into the tea room, and it fits that space by the window perfectly, and just creates a nice little cozy spot next to the table. I had to move one of the chairs out because there wasn't enough room, but we could always pull it back in when we want to use it. In case you're curious, I thought I would share that the cost of all the thrifted items came out to be $975, which I thought was really great for a room full of furniture. I probably could have done better, but it was the winter time, so I was sticking with just Facebook Marketplace, and I was keeping really close to home, so I didn't have to drive too far to pick items up. So given more time, or given a better time of year when maybe there were more garage sales to go looking through, I could have done better, but I think that's a great price for all the pieces I have here. I do have to do some work to them, but I'm looking forward to that, making them special and unique for this space. So that's the cost of all the thrifted items in my area, which is in the New York City metro area. Thanks so much if you've stayed with me to the end of this video. I do plan on doing more videos in the near future as I restore the furniture and get this room decorated into a whimsical Victorian tea room. Have a great day.